Hi friends, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about missing numbers in addition subtraction. So in the previous lessons, we've learned about fact families, and those are going to be really important here. So if you haven't mastered fact families, definitely do take a few moments and go back and review that, and so it'll make a little bit more sense. All right, let's take a look at example number 1 here. 12 plus m equals 31. Remember, we can, for addition and subtraction, or for multiplication and division, we can have 4 facts within our family. For the first one, for addition, remember, for addition, we can swap the top 2. So m plus 12 equals 31. Perfect. Now, we're adding in this direction, which means we can subtract in the other direction. So 31 minus m gives us 12. Well, that's not really going to help us. This doesn't help us either. What we want to be able to do is solve the problem, and we can't do that quite yet. But remember, if we're adding in this direction, we can subtract in this direction. Also with subtraction, you can flop these last 2. So 31 minus 12 is m. There we go. That's the magic fact that we need in order to solve this problem, because we can do 31 minus 12. 31 minus 12. All right, 1 minus 2 I can't do, so I need to borrow, make that 2, add 10 here. So that's now 11. 11 minus 2 gives me 9. 2 minus 1 gives me 1, and m equals 19. M equals 19. Let's go back and double check that fact. 12 plus 19, that'll give us 31. 19 plus 12, that'll also give us 31. 31 minus 19, that'll give us 12, and 31 minus 12 gives us 19. So we have done that. Beautiful. All right, let's take a look at this one. Sometimes your fact families are going to be more than just the 3 things. So what we got to do here is we've got to combine some like terms. You're going to love that when you get into pre-algebra. All right, so for these guys, let's go over here and do some side work. 36 plus 17 plus 5. Again, be very careful that you're lining everything up. Okay, 6 plus 5, 6 plus 6 is 12, minus 1, that gives me 11. So 6 plus 5 is 11, plus 7 is 18. 8, carry the 1. 3, 4, 5, I get 58. You guys have to tell me in the comments if I make a mistake, because I'm always worried that I'm going to do that. All right, so this guy right here is actually 58 plus n equals 64. All right, cool. Remember, addition can be flopped either way. So n plus 58 also equals 64. Now, doesn't really help us, right? So let's try subtracting in the other direction. 64 minus n equals 58. So I added in this direction, subtract in this direction. That doesn't help us, but remember with subtraction, you can flop the last 2. 64 minus 58 equals n. Ding, 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 that's the winner. That's the one that we need in order to be able to solve this. 64 minus 58. Now, from 58 up to 60, that's 2, and from 60 up to 64, that's 4. So our answer here is going to be 6. You can also borrow if you need to, but that's another way of doing that. And so n equals 6. And you go back and double check, make sure it works in all your facts. 58 plus 6 equals 64. Yep. 6 plus 58 equals 64. Absolutely. That commutative property, right? 64 minus 6 gives us 58. Absolutely. 64 minus 58 gives us 6. Absolutely. We did that right. All right, let's take a look at this one. W minus 16 is 24. Again, with subtraction, you can flop the last 2. So W minus 24 is 16. That doesn't help us, right? But if we subtract in this direction, we can add in that direction. So let's see. That gives us 24 plus 16 equals W, or 16 plus 24 equals W. So we get our choice of either of these 2 in order to solve this. 24 plus 16, let's do that over here. 4 plus 6 is 10, carry my 1. 2, 3, 4, I get 40. So W equals 40. Okay, it's a good idea to circle your answers as you're going through so that when you go to correct it, it's a lot easier. All right, let's talk about this one. Now, this is the tricky one. When you have a subtraction problem and you have your variable, remember your variable is your letter, in the middle. Subtraction and in the middle. These are going to come up again in the future, so I want you just to keep an eye out on this. So for these guys, let's flop the last 2. Actually, this one's fairly easy. 236 minus 152 equals y. There we go. We don't even have to find our addition facts because we are already set to go on this one. So 236 minus 152. That's going to give us our y. So 6 minus 2 gives me 4. 3 minus 5 I have to borrow. So 13 minus 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 1 minus 1. Okay, so 84. So 84 equals y, because when I combine those, I get 84. Okay, so here's what I was saying about that. When you have, so essentially when you have these missing numbers, it is a very good idea to write out all 4 of your facts until you get used to it. But you'll start to see a pattern. You always do the opposite of whatever the operation is there. Remember, operation is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Always do the opposite, unless it is a subtraction problem or division. We'll talk about that next. And the variable is in the middle. So problems like this, then you do the same thing. So I've written that as a note here. You can pause and record that. Oh, look, I already wrote the answers down. Oh, all right, that's okay. These are going to be your answers. I don't care about the answers so much as I care about making sure you know how to do the work. So pause this, go ahead and do the practice problems, and then come on back. All right, so for these first 4, we're going to do all 4 fact families so that you feel real comfortable with that. And then we'll work on this thing. Always do the opposite unless it's subtraction and the letter is in the middle. So our addition fact, we can flop the first 2. So 12 plus a is 45. So we're adding, right, in this initial problem. Well, remember, if we add in one direction, we can subtract in the other. So we can do 45 minus 12 gives us a, or we can do 45 minus a gives us 12. Well, this is the one we want to do. So you'll see that we're subtracting. The original problem is addition. We're subtracting. So 45 minus 12 gives us 3. And then 4 minus 1 gives us 3. Our answer is 33 there. I'll try and cover that up next time. Sorry about that. Okay. Now, so we started with addition. We did subtraction. So this guy right here, we're going to, for addition, we can flop the first 2. So now we end up with b plus 32 is 60. Well, we can't do that. That's not helping us. So let's reverse these and put them into subtraction. 60 minus b is 32, or 60 minus 32 is b. Ah, that's the one we want. 60 minus 32. 60 minus 32. Let's borrow, make that a 5, make that a 10. We get 8 and 2, so 28 for B. Now, like I said, I wrote the answers here. I don't care about the answers. What I want to see are your fact families, okay? The next one, and so again, we started with addition and we ended up doing subtraction. Now, here's one of these ones. It is a subtraction problem, but still the variable is not in the middle. So we're going to be doing the opposite. Take a look. With subtraction, we can flop the last 2. So c minus 24 gives us 15. That's not really going to help us, so now we've got to reverse both of those into our addition facts. 25, whoops, let's try with the right numbers. 24 plus 15 is c, or that was this one. 24 plus 15 is c, or 15 plus 24. I'm using pen so you guys can see it a little bit easier, but don't use pen if you're doing this at home. Use a pencil. When you go to make your corrections, though, do it on a separate sheet of paper. Don't go erasing all your previous work. When you get it back with your corrections, do it on a separate sheet so you can figure out where you went wrong. All right, so I can do either one of these. I just chose this last one. 5 and 4 gives me 9. 1 and 2 gives me 3. So 39 is my answer. All right, now here's where it is. It's a subtraction problem and the variable's in the middle. So let's go back up to this one. See, we started with subtraction. We ended up adding. This one, we're just going to flop those last 2 and we get 38 minus 29 is D, and that's the one that we need. So 38 minus 29. 8 minus 9 I can't do, so I'm going to borrow. 18 minus 9 gives me 9, and then 2 minus 2 is 0, so my answer is 9. So again, you're going to do the opposite with your numbers unless it's a subtraction and the letter is in the middle. So let's take a look at this one. Is it a subtraction problem? No, so we're going to do the opposite. 52 minus 24. We got to do some borrowing. So 12 minus 4, that's going to give me 8. 4 minus 2 gives me 2. So my answer is 28. Okay, next one. Subtraction problem? Yes, but the letter's not in the middle. So we're going to do the opposite. And now when we do the opposite, remember, you want your larger number first. So we're going to say 67 minus 43. 7 minus 4 is 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. So my answer is 24. All right, is this a subtraction problem? Nope, do the opposite then. Take the larger number, 70, minus 29. 0 minus 9 I can't do, so I'm going to make that a 6, make this a 10. That's 1. 6 minus 2 gives me 4, so my answer is 41. I'm checking to make sure I'm doing it right on the answers. I do make mistakes on these videos, so. Next one, is this a subtraction problem? Yes. Is the variable in the middle? Yes. We do the same thing this time. So instead of switching it up and doing like here, we did, oh no, I made a mistake. See, look at this one. I made a mistake here. We were supposed to do the opposite. We were supposed to add. See, that's why I was double checking my work as I went along. Man. All right. So always do the opposite unless it's subtraction and the variable's in the middle. So we're going to, the opposite of subtract is add. So we actually need to add these two. I'm sorry. Got distracted. I have 3 golden retrievers and they're hanging out watching me. And so I try and teach them algebra and math and they don't really care. So, all right, 7 plus 3 is 10. So I'm going to carry my 1. 6 plus 4 is 10 plus 1 more is 11. So I have 110. Oh, see, I even did it when I was making the answer key for this. I did 24. Should be 110. I don't know, guys. Can't rely on me. All right, this one though, however, so we did the opposite, opposite, opposite. This one, we do the same thing. So we're going to do 80 minus 36. So borrow, make that a 10. 10 minus 6 is 4. 7 minus 3 is 4. That is my answer. Okay, for this one, we want to group all of our numbers together. So we're going to do, I'm kind of running out of room here, so I'm going to write it on the side. 36, 14, and 8. 6 and 4 is 10, plus 8 is 18. Carry the 1. 3, 4, 5, 58. So this can be rewritten as 58 plus n equals 75. Is it a subtraction problem? No. So we're going to do the opposite. 75 minus 58. Let's borrow. Let's make that a 6. Make that a 15. That's kind of hard to see. 8. So 5, 6, 7. 15 minus 8 will give us 7. 6 minus 5 will give us 1. And so our answer is 17. All right, guys. If you have any questions about those, keep practicing. There are some practice in the back of the book, I believe. And if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. Otherwise, great job.